as 2SRL Season 8 is over.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2SRL Tier 1 Monaco Grand Prix. It's a 2.07 mile circuit. There are 19 corners, 8 to the left and 11 to the right. One DRS zone into the first turn at Saint-Devote. Famous corners where overtaking is tricky, but not impossible. Let's look at Saint-Devote. Lewis Hamilton and Michael Schumacher in 2011. Schumacher getting squeezed out by the McLaren of Hamilton as he headed up Pau Rivage ahead. Down to the Lowe's hairpin now. Was a station hairpin at one stage. It was a great hairpin for Pedro Della Rose. Was sent spinning around on the first lap in the year 2000. And will we see more evidence of overtaking into the Nouvelle Chicane? Max Verstappen did it to Carlos Sainz and many others in 2018. There's going to be plenty of action here today. I can't wait for it all. It's a soft, medium and the hard, but the three softest compounds that Pirelli bring to the range. They'll be keeping the intermediate and wet tires warm as well, as there's always the chance of rain in tonight's Monaco Grand Prix. Today though, I am going to be completely on my lonesome. We do not have a secondary for this broadcast today, so you're gonna have to stick with me for the majority of this session. I hope you're ready for that. I know I am, and hopefully it goes quite well here. I'm gonna make sure I have everything up on the screen real quick just to make sure everything is there. It looks like though we're getting into this session and it's gonna be a doozy. Let's be real, because we have 10 drivers on the grid right now. Excuse me. And I hope all of you have enjoyed your week break off. As we know, the 2S decided to take a week break there recently for everyone to just, you know, recalibrate themselves, relax, and then get ready for to continue off the season with some great racing. So 10 drivers on the grid right now, and it looks like the teams that we actually have full drivers for here is actually, so Racing Point, we have Tipsy and that Banter here. They're both here. They're here for some points, and so is SLR Dragon and Justin. So looking very strong for that. Also, actually, I almost missed it there. We do have Timo and Danny as well. the championship, well, Constructors' Championship leaders. Currently, Ferrari are still leading the championship from Red Bull. Ferrari have 152 points in total in the championship, followed by Red Bull with 111. Just missing out from them there. Williams then, bit of a drop down now in the numbers as we go down. Williams is in third right now due to the amazing performances Kobe has put in recently, and they currently have 65 points. Followed by Alfa Romeo, Racing Point, AlphaTauri, Renault, Mercedes, and then McLaren and Haas down at the bottom for now. Driver standings are looking quite spicy though. We're gonna keep this on board with Timo. I believe Timo's gonna be the first person to cross the line there. Currently in the lead of the Drivers' Championship still is Justin in the Red Bull, followed by Kopi, and then Timo in third place. Danny then coming in at fourth place there. So looking very, very strong for the Ferrari team. You can definitely see where they're gathering up their points there. But we're seeing Timo now as he's coming into the Nouvelle Chicane, quite clean there, very, very close to the left barrier there. That orange barrier, you can see the wheel ever so slightly just missing it. It's a very, very tight circuit. We all know this. A lot of people love it, a lot of people hate it because of how tricky it is. As I mentioned in the intro, there is a lot of famous corners in this circuit that you know, it's very hard to overtake. However, it is extremely possible. I mean, we have Timo as he crosses the line with 1.882 for pole as he's coming through Sandoval here. That's a zone where you're going to see people maybe trying for an overtake there. Also coming up Beau Rivage as well. You can definitely get side by side and start scrapping it out throughout this entire section. And then down in the Lowe's hairpin, the old station as it was once called, can be very, very tricky, but it's not impossible there. If you can get a good run out of where we're watching Timo right now, I'm going to move from someone to someone else in just a second, but if you can get a good run out of there down into the hairpin, you can definitely get into the inside and try to make a move on your opponent at that point. Because of everyone that is, there's 10 racers in this lobby and everyone was out in a fast lap, it's already switching up. I blink for a second and I miss everything. We see Timo's crossed the line. He was on pole, followed by Justin Heat then, who has knocked that off with 108.818. Pixel then is sitting himself at 195, followed by Higgsy then in P4. The both racing points have managed to put themselves over in P5 and 6 so far. Nackmeister then in P7 in the AlphaTauri. SLR Dragon still yet to set a time, and so has Kopi. I believe SLR Dragon and Kopi are both actually in the pits though as well, so we'll have to wait and see what we can see from them very, very shortly. Apologies for the little pauses in talking, but sometimes, you know, you really just gotta get those liquids, get that water in your system to keep it all going. Let me just keep that off the screen right hand side. I'm sure that's quite annoying. But SLR Dragon and Kobe should be going out of the pits very shortly to try to get a lap in. We've got 13 minutes left in this qualifying session. I believe that's Justin also coming into the pits. You can see all the drivers getting ready to come in here. But you do have time in this session if these drivers have wanted to. You set your tire compounds to softer before you get into this session, and you really can. Excuse me. You can get about 4 fast laps throughout this race. As I'm just going to make sure I have this. But, you know, as it stands with this, because we have 10 drivers, I know that maybe the possibility of a safety car is getting quite slim the less drivers there is. With there being 10 of them here, maybe they're gonna be a little bit smarter, and you know, everyone at this point, if they can finish a race, they're getting points. So hopefully people are gonna take that into account and realize that, okay, well, we don't need to be any heroic here. Everyone's basically in the section for points. However, it's just them bringing the fight to see how many you can get there. I believe SLR Dragon did come out of the pits there. So has Timo, Pixel, and Higgsy. But we're gonna hop in with SLR Dragon currently, the second Red Bull driver. It'd be nice to see if we could see a Red Bull lockup on the front row there. And yeah, Owen, please do disregard that. Unfortunately, the team, I think, will be trying to fix that as soon as possible. I got on here and I mentioned that whenever I saw it. It was quite weird. Hey, this is Spanish, but we're doing Monaco at the minute, last time I checked. So, but we're on with SLR Dragon right now. He's still in his out lap. He's getting ready. The amount of fuel you have in these cars, really, whenever you come out of the pits to go for your qualifying lap, you have enough there to set 2 fast laps on 1 set of tires. Of course, you don't want to set 2 all the time unless it's unless it's need be, because there's always the chance then extra worn tires if you've set a lap that you can't then overtake. But we're going to be on with SLR Dragon. He's coming up over Varge at this moment. Definitely you can see the space on the track here. You can go side by side with the driver. I think we're going to see a lot of them maybe try it through here to try to get past some of the their opponents. He currently sets a purple sector 1 though. He's going to come through now. Slowest part of the track down into the Lowe's hairpin. See how he takes it here. A little bit of a lock up, just sliding through there. Using the throttle to rotate the car up over the curb, using as much as he can there. Now this is where it comes down. Good exit is what he needs out of this into the tunnel. Looks like he gets it though, and he's going to be charging through the tunnel. Now it's down in through the tunnel to Nouvelle. The Nouvelle chicane. We all know that. We don't want to hit that barrier on the left-hand side with your rear wheel. It'll send you flying right round. It's also quite tricky to make sure you don't invalidate. It's very, very tight. Very technical part of the track there. And he's done a phenomenal job so far. Looks like Timo is going to be retiring from the race though. And I believe that's exactly where we talking. I believe he just DNF'd at the Nouvelle chicane. You can see on the minimap on the far right of the screen there. It's just at the exit. So what's happened there is that orange barrier that as I'll just make sure we get this first SLR Dragon though. P2 though. Here comes the lockup. 1-8-8-4-1. So Timo's come in there, and there's 2 points you have to watch out for. There's that inside barrier right as you come into it. You don't want to hit your rear wheel on that. But on the exit as well, we saw last time on Timo, he was very, very close to the orange barrier on the left, and I think he maybe got a little bit too close this time, and he is going to be retiring from the session. So the best time he got in was still quite a good time. It was a 1-8-8-2, but we're going to have to see if that's going to be enough to keep him as far up the grid as possible here. But very good performance so far from Justin and SLR Dragon. Let's get on with Danny though. His teammate has retired from the session. He set a purple sector 1 here. He's gonna have to bring home the bacon for the Ferrari team. Now that Timo's been out of the session, we'll just see where he ends up when it comes to the end here. Kopi is still to set a lap as well, so not to count that out. Kopi's one of our fast drivers as well. Very, very good fighter, and has always really been putting in the best effort there. You see Justin holding on the outside there just to make sure Danny's got the room he comes into the Nouvelle chicane. Don't hit it like Timo did. Make it through. You got this. So quite a good set through there. I believe there's also another car ahead, but he's not going to be close enough to impede anything on him there. Coming through though, it is going to be Pixel. Is Pixel going to hold him up? He looks to be just about ahead to not affect him too much. That's going to be not too bad for him. Danny though, out onto the final straight of Rascas. Where is he going to place this car? It's Ferrari car. He is going to go pole. It's going to be a 1-8-7-2-8. Just about by a tenth, just under a tenth faster than the Red Bull driver of Justin. However, speaking of the Red Bull driver Justin, let's hop on board with him because Danny set that lap, and now it's time for Justin's response as he's setting his fast lap now. This will be his second fast lap of the session. As I said before, you have got time to set 4 in total if you really wanted to come down to the wire. You can see Danny on the inside there. It's very tricky when it comes to the qualifying session to make sure that you have that gap when you're going out for your qualifying laps, but also then the other drivers need to be extremely aware when there is a car coming around due to the fact of how tight and how tricky this track is. So there's plenty of places for these drivers to move aside and create that space. They just got to be aware when a driver is coming through. But we're staying with Justin at the moment. I'm not sure. I didn't catch whether he had set a purple sector at this point, but we're going to see very shortly if he's going to set a purple sector 2. Scrubs the wall ever so slightly there. You can hear just a little bit of a rub from the front right tire. Another little scrub there on the exit. But is he going to be able to beat Danny's time? I think this lap was maybe not the one that he wanted, and I don't know if he's going to be able to. He doesn't look like he is. As he is, I believe he didn't actually improve on his time. He did. He improved on his time by a small margin there, by a very small margin. SLR Dragon then is on an out lap as well, followed by Pixels on an out lap. I believe Higgsy though just started his fast lap. One of the Mercedes drivers, I believe, actually possibly a reserve for tonight's race. But aside from this, while all these drivers are setting their qualifying laps or getting ready for this race, everyone in the chat right now on the ETL YouTube, how do you feel about this? 10 drivers on the grid. Do you see any safety cars incoming? Do you see any big battles throughout this session? I want to know what you think. Come get involved with me, and we'll see if we can come to some form of a conclusion ourselves together about how this could possibly turn out as we get into stages. As we know, this is a 39 lap race, so 20-minute qualifying session, 39 lap race around the Marina Bay circuit. So it's gonna be exciting. There's gonna be a lot going on, and there's gonna be a lot to capture. Hopefully we can see the front packs really getting scrappy there. I believe Higgsy did set a purple sector 2 or 1 there, I think it was, but then he did invalidate and he goes into the wall. Very lucky that there was no terminal damage there, some damage to the wing. But he's gonna have to pull into the pits. That's completely abandoned, and see what he can do then later on. Kopi though still in the pits. At this point, he's got to get himself a move on fairly shortly if he wants to be able to set himself a lap. Maybe he's just very, very confident. Maybe that Williams driver is super confident for this race that he thinks, yeah, I can go out there and smash that lap. I only need 1 lap. I'm not gonna show my hand at the start of the session. So it could be that, excuse me, or it could just be down to maybe he's just kicking back. Maybe just kicking back and I'm waiting for it there. I believe Zamboni though as well. There's 11 drivers in the grid at the moment because now we have 2 Mercedes drivers. I can see in P10 there's a Mercedes driver. He is in pits at this moment. I believe also, let's jump on board as he's going through sector 3. Didn't get much to see from him at this point to see if he's improved too much. But Pixel though in P5, the McLaren driver has been racing all week. I've watched him race in multiple leagues. I actually raced against him in a race myself recently. Just missed out with him. And you know, he's had quite a good run around Monaco this week. So hopefully he'll be able to bring that experience into the race today and maybe push for a little bit higher. Hasn't been able to break past the 1.9 so far though, so he's got time to come in obviously and get himself sorted for another lap. I'd love to see him break into the 1.8s. I know he can definitely do it. He's been able to do it throughout the week. So you know, we just got to see if he's going to be able to pull that one through. And I believe, though, we have a few other drivers that are currently on laps. So Zamboni, I believe, and Namemaker, the AlphaTauri, currently coming into the Nouvelle Chicane. So Justin's just informing us that Kopi is ill and he wants to start from the back. Not sure. Not a problem at all. I mean, there we go. That's the last to first challenge from Kopi. We'll see how he'll be able to do that there. Actually, he wants to start P11. Hey, there we go. He's got his wish. He's gonna be able to start P11 by the looks of things so far. Very unfortunate. Getting wing damage on an outlap on Monaco can be quite frustrating, especially when you get if you're in sector 3 and you're coming around, getting ready to start it, and then picking up some form of damage. It can be very, very unfortunate for that. I believe as Nak is coming through the first sector, I believe Danny is going through sector 2, so we'll hop on with him for a little second here. He's currently in provisional pole. He's wanting to improve that time though. He wants to create a bigger gap from Justin behind him. He's got 2 Red Bulls on his tail right now. And Timo though, quite lucky. Danny's going to abandon that lap, come into the pits, I believe. But Timo's getting very lucky at this moment. None of the other drivers have managed to be able to beat the time that he has put in so far. So I believe Zamboni he's invalidated his lap as well. Kopi is going to be on an outlap, so let's stick with him for a little bit. Get Wilson, my friend, as he's going to be pulling into the pits. I think he's just getting some track time, getting the feel of the track. Is he even going to set in a time? He might not. He might just say, you know what, I'll get some, I'll get out, I'll weave around the track, I'll see how it feels for me, and then we'll just not put in a time, and just finish out the session and then get into the race. So then, our week off, did anyone do anything exciting with their friends, family? I know we're in very hard times when it comes to getting out and about and stuff like that. But overall, was there anyone who managed to get up to something interesting, or keep themselves entertained, or is it something that you really just I want to be racing? Did you miss the racing? So then back to when I look at the grid here. So Pixel's on an outlap again. We have Higgsy's on an outlap. Zamboni is currently on his invalidated lap. He's going through sector 3 right now. Hopefully getting ready to come through very shortly. Justin just got past him though. We're gonna stay with Justin for a little second as he is going to set a fast lap. He's gotta beat Danny. He's a tenth away from Danny, but you can see there on the right hand side, Danny's gonna be coming out of the pit. So Justin is going for a fast lap here, but Danny's got to be ready with that response, and that's what really has to be done when it comes to the stages like this. I mean, Justin is so close that there is a possibility of him just about getting ahead of Danny in the qualifying, and he has to be ready for that response. He does set a purple sector 1 though, so it looks like Justin could be ready for a good run. Kobe is going to retire from the session, so he isn't going to set a time today. He's just going to retire, sit back, and get himself on the track for the race. But being ready for that response in qualifying, being ready for that response during a race as well is what all these drivers need to always be ready for. And we're seeing that there with Danny. He's getting out. He doesn't technically have to set another fast lap. He's currently sitting on pole. There's always a chance of him dropping down, but he wants to stay where he's placed himself, so he's got to get out there. And if Justin manages to beat that, he's got to be able to come back with that. A little bit of a tap though through the sector, the second sector there. Still does set a purple sector. He's on a very, very good run. I think we could see Justin taking away provisional pole from Danny at this point. And if he does, then it's going to be interesting to see exactly how Danny can respond to that. As Justin's going to come across the line, he's going to get pole. He is. He's going to be a 1.8591. A total of about 2/10 there. Faster than Danny. I apologize to the rest of the drivers if we're not hopping on. I believe Danny's now going on for his fast lap. We'll have a quick look though, and we'll see. Where is Pixel at this moment? Pixel's going through the second sector. We'll hop on with him for a little sector as he's having some trouble tapping the wall. Quite unfortunate there. That's gonna affect his time. He's having a lot of trouble. That's an invalidation. Let's hop back to Danny at this point. Danny has actually invalidated his lap, so that's going to be very, very tight for him. He's got 30 seconds to make it back to the start finish, and he's not going to be able to do that. He hasn't got enough time for it, so it does look like it's going to be Justin on top. SLR Dragon is going, finishing up his out lap, cutting it very, very close. He's got less than 20 seconds to make it to that line, but he's got it there. He's got his fast lap now. He's if he can get to be about a 10th and a half faster, we can make it a Red Bull lockout here today at Monaco. And obviously with saying that as well, there is a few other drivers on the on their laps at the moment. We obviously have that Bance and Tipsy Bob, the Racing Point drivers. They're here to scrape up quite a good few points here today, so hopefully they'll be able to bring that home. But SLR Dragon then at this moment, two people have finished the qualifying so far. It's Pixel and Higgsy aren't going to be able to set any more laps. I believe if there's any drivers in the pits, they won't be able to either. Justin's going to be wrapping up for him as well, but his teammate SLR Dragon coming through the tunnel, getting ready to come in down to Novell. Is he going to be able to beat Danny? Is he going to be able to get that 10th and a half and make it a Red Bull 1-2 lockup? It will be quite a feat to see the Red Bulls coming back after the week-long break. He does set a purple sector too, though. We do see, so it's looking very, very possible. He's up on the time there, and he could be coming around. We could be seeing that if he's able to beat Danny. Is it possible that he could beat his teammate as well? We'll just have to see as he's going to come across the line right about now. Where's he going to place? SLR Dragon crosses the line. And we'll see in just a second. There it is. You see it on the screen. SLR Dragon by a pinch just at the end. He's taking pole position away from his teammate. And I say by a pinch, by a 10th. As your starting grid for this race, SLR Dragon starting on pole with 1.8457. Followed by his teammate Justin with 1.8591. Followed by Danny then, starting off the second row with for the Ferrari team, and Timo then getting ever so lucky, holding in P4, even though with an early retirement. So first front row Red Bull, second row Ferrari, followed by Pixel then on the third row with that Bance in P6, Nackmelster then in the AlphaTauri for P7, Higgsy P8 for the Mercedes team, Tipsy Bob down in P9 for Racing Point, and then I believe Kopi in P11. And one of the other, I forgot the name. I'm so sorry. I forgot the name, but we do have that driver in P10. We'll catch up with it in just a second. Zamboni, that was it. Zamboni, the other Mercedes driving, but very, very, very strong performance from the Red Bull team. It looks like that week break is exactly what they needed to revitalize themselves and recalibrate their systems and get ready for another great sessions racing. Maybe we should have these week breaks more often. Maybe the Red Bull team, that's exactly what they need, just a little bit extra time to, you know, relax and really get ready for it. But looking very, very strong from them. They are going to have a good fight with Danny and Timo behind him there. With Timo having the issues in qualifying, though, he's got to hold it together in the race. It's 39 laps. He's got to make sure he stays out of those danger zones and keeps the car entirely intact. As far as the first lap goes, I don't expect to see many incidents there. Hopefully, these drivers can, you know, look at it and think, okay, it's time to chill out. Let's, you know, let's just take this slow for now. It's a 39 lap race. No heroics into Saint Devote. We've heard that. Take it to heart. Think about it. I'm saying it now. Take it to heart. No heroics, please. These drivers now getting ready to go on their formation lap. It's going to be a 39 lap race all in all. Let's get all the telemetries up on the screen for you. Every driver on the grid starting on the softs apart from Kopi, who's starting on P11 on the mediums on the counter strat. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly what Kopi can do with that, seeing that he's the only driver on that strat. If he can play it safe in the beginning, not lose too much time, not take on any damage throughout this race, he could be looking at a very strong one, to be honest, if he can pull those gaps. And then at the end of the race, he'd be on a much faster compound of tire. You would then be on the softs. Most of these drivers are going to be running soft medium. That is the preferred strategy for this track. Roundabout between lap 10 and 13 is about your pit window, depending on what way you want to do it there. Sometimes earlier, of course, depending on damage, but around 10 to 13 seems to be about an optimum window for pitting from the softs onto the mediums around this track. What I find anyway. I could be completely wrong. Don't listen to me. I'm just here to talk. But it's going to be SLR Dragon with Justin, then front row, Danny, then, and Timo on the second row for the Ferraris. What way are these two going to be able to respond to this? I mean, with Dragon and Justin at the front, they're going to want to pull out a gap as quickly as they possibly can to the Ferraris. However, we all know Danny's not going to let that happen, and we all know he's going to want to bring the fight to them. So I believe if Justin can hold up Danny and give, if Dragon can get as good a start as what he wants there, he could be able to get a shot ahead. Maybe Justin's able to hold off Danny a bit and start building gaps as well. It's going to be very interesting to see exactly what these drivers can do and how they're going to execute it for the first stint of this race, and then obviously how it's going to line up then for their second stint. So I believe they're all getting ready to line up on the grid now for this 39 lap race. I'm going to take a quick drink real quick before we get into the turn 1 mayhem. Alright, so SLR Tier 1 Monaco Grand Prix. We're getting ready to go as 5 lights are on. 39 laps, it's lights out, and away we go. Looks like we're off to quite a good start here. SLR Dragon getting quite a decent one there. Justin looks a little bit ghosted, has some trouble there. You can see the Ferrari trying to squeeze up the inside of the Red Bull at that point. Doesn't look to be any kind of hectic stuff from any of the drivers. There is a racing point though, going side by side, and that's the McLaren spinning right. That's Pixel. That is Pixel going side by side with that Bance, I believe. And he's going to be missing out. Car's still intact, but he's going to take a lot of damage there, and that's going to throw his strategy completely off balance. They're coming down into lows now. We can see it's the 2 Red Bulls followed by the 2 Ferraris. You can see Danny really poking his nose there, followed by that Bance and then the AlphaTauri. The grid's starting to fix itself up a little bit there. Pixel's not going to be happy about that. He's going to have to come around and pit. Is he going to pit for hards, or is he going to go for the mediums and see where it comes from there at that point? But so far then the 2 Red Bulls still holding the lead, coming down into Novell. Danny following very, very close behind him. Timo doesn't want to miss out on that either. Timo, stay away from that barrier. And that Bance then dropping back a little bit. I believe he's got about maybe 2 seconds to the driver in front of him. We'll have to wait until it fixes itself up. So that's caused a little bit of a drop back then from the front 4 drivers to then the remainder there. But they're all still quite close. First lap, of course, we can see Copy then up into P9 from P11. He's already made up 2 positions in this race so far. Doesn't look like he's got any damage either, so looking quite good there. SLR Dragon then, of course, fastest lap. He was on pole. Is he going to be able to keep it for much longer? This is what it's going to come down to. If SLR Dragon can manage to stay ahead for all this time. Looking very, very strong for the 2 Red Bulls. Looks like though Timo's having some trouble as he's fallen outside of the that 1 second mark and still falling. He seems to be losing a lot of time to Danny in front of him at this point. Doesn't look to be any visible wing damage at this point. From what I can see. I'll be able to keep an eye on it very shortly when we get a bit more of a closer camera angle, so we'll have to look for that. Yeah, no, it doesn't look like he's got anything. None of the Ferraris do. They're gonna have to keep going there. Timo needs to pick it up if he wants to stay with Danny here and try to really push for them top points. Speaking of Danny, he is about a second. He's on that margin. He's on that very, very fine line from Justin. The Red Bulls are doing a phenomenal job at the moment of really shooting away on this on this track. So hopefully they can keep this up and start to build out those gaps. But like I said, it all comes down to the response, how Danny's going to respond to that with these drivers. He is managing to stay within the DRS at the end of this lap. I believe the DRS should be able to send us across the line here. SLR Dragon second the fastest once again. He's got the clean air in front of him. He's got no troubles there. Yes, DRS has been enabled. There is 1 DRS zone on this track, and it is the start finish straight. So right after you come out of your the last corner, and that's where you have that chance. You get the DRS assistant, and hopefully you'll be able to make some form of a move with that. A little news on Pixel though. He has pitted for the hards. He's got his wing changed, and that's where he's going to try and finish out the rest of the race with that. I saw something flick up in the screen there. I thought it was maybe a part of a wing from one of the cars. I saw a little bit of a flash, but it doesn't look to be that way. Looking at the Red Bulls, there's no damage there. Danny though falling out. He's 1.2 seconds behind the Red Bulls. Looks like the Red Bulls are very, very dominant here in Monaco today. I mean, it's still the early stages of the race, of course, but they're really put on a very, very strong start for today here. It looks like, I believe, that Bance though losing out to an AlphaTauri in front of them. They're going side by side through Novell. How did they do that? He's going to be trying that. He's going to be holding ahead of that though. He's that Bance getting the better out of it, staying ahead. Meister's going to have to hold back, but Higgsy there I saw trying to poke his nose as well. He was trying to get a bit of a move going there. That Bance was struggling though. You could see the tail of the car sliding a little bit. Some trouble with gaining or getting back on the traction there. Total of 5 seconds behind Timo. These drivers are, the mid-pack fight is going to be crisp here today. Is that Bantz going to be able to hold off from Nackmeister for much longer? I mean, he does have a penalty, so he wants to get ahead of that Bantz as soon as possible and maybe start building up some form of a gap. As you know, though, for this track as well, the ERS deployment, it's not generous at all. ERS disappears and it stays disappeared for quite a long time. Around here can be quite frustrating to build it back up. So when it comes to using the ERS, we can see that that Bantz has used quite a lot of it so far, and Nackmeister hasn't used too much at this moment. You can see how close that AlphaTauri is to the racing point. How much longer until he's got the chance to make another move here? You're getting a hop on board with him just real quick to see if he's going to try it down into Novel. He's not close enough though to try for that. Bantz is still going to be holding in P5 for now. We can see throughout the front of the grid that gap to Danny is only building by the looks of things at this point. So Zamboni though picking up a 10-second time penalty for corner cutting. Not going to be very happy with that. That's going to give him that's going to put him in a bad situation come the end of the race. He is going to have the chance to serve that though, I believe. So there's still that. He's going to get DRS though, Nackmeister. Is he going to be able to use it to his advantage to get past that Bantz? He's close enough. He's looking for the outside. He's going to go for it. Down into Zandvoort here. Is he going to be able to get it done? They're going side by side through it, keeping it clean. Enough space is given, but Nackmeister does come out on top there, around the outside. Upbo Rivarge into 5th place goes the AlphaTauri. Great racing from both of these drivers. So very good to see from everyone there. It's going to open up the door for Higgsy though. He's going to want to try to get past as well. And look at Kopi. Kopi's in P8 on mediums. He's jumped 3 positions so far and is putting in a stellar drive at this moment. So the counter strategy, he's making it work at this moment. We're just going to have to see exactly how he can put that into play. Excuse me, more towards the end of the race when he is on the faster tires. I'm going to hop on board with SLR Dragon and Justin though, because look at that gap. It's less than 2 tenths. They're getting very close to each other. And it looks like Danny has decided to start pushing because he's within that second mark. Just hopping on with the cars, just to have a quick look if any of them got any damage so far that we've missed out on. Doesn't look like it. All cars are clean. But all 3 of them are going to be within DRS of each other. This is going to be the fight to watch throughout this race between the 2 Red Bulls and one of the Ferraris. Of course, the 2 Red Bulls don't want to be scrapping too much amongst each other when it comes to the overall for the point, the constructors' points at the end of this race. I'm sure they'd love to finish out at 1-2, so they'll not do too much scrapping because they know they've got Danny there. And you give Danny a gap, he'll go for it. Looks like Higgsy though is trying for getting past that Bantz. He got it done into Zandvoort as well. This is where a lot of people seem to be really trying for the overtakes, getting down into Zandvoort and making it work there. Looks like with that though, that Bantz falling all the way down into P7 so far from P5 in the space of 2 laps. Kopi's going to be on his rear end, and that's going to be the next driver who's going to try to get past him. And by looking at Kopi's performance so far and how he's been able to cut through the grid, a little bit of a love tap from the Williams to the racing point there. I don't think it'll be too long until Kopi decides to leave that racing point, smelling rocket fuel. So it will either be throughout this next sector we're about to see. He's getting very close. This is going to be able to get side by side though. He's looks like he's going for the outside. A little bit of a squeeze from both the drivers. Little contact coming down into the Novel chicane, battering back and forth. Looks like Kopi though got the better of that. That Bantz held off a little bit there. I'm sure neither one of those drivers wanted that to end in anything terminal. Here comes Tipsy Bob though as well. He's going to be getting up onto his teammate very shortly. Kopi now outside of 2 seconds on or roughly around 2 seconds away from Higgsy at this point. He's got to put in some real pace if he wants to get ahead of him there. You can see the racing points getting very close together there. I believe Justin though has just taken the lead of the race. I looked away for a minute, not Bo Rivarge. It looks like SLR Dragon has given out the position to Justin. I believe Justin maybe went side by side. I believe they were scrapping at that. It was nothing to do with team orders. Not a lot of these drivers really enjoy team orders too much due to the sheer fact of, it puts off a bit of the racing. But I can only imagine it being quite a nice move from both the drivers. Now it's going to be on SLR Dragon if he's going to be able to stay with his teammate Justin. It looks like Justin's doing a very good job so far since he's taken the lead. Is Dragon going to be able to stay with Justin and keep on that DRS? If he can't, he's going to be in big trouble from Danny in the Ferrari. He's very close behind him there. He wants to latch onto the rear end of Justin, get brought along with the DRS throughout the track, and try to build up that gap from Danny. Timo though looks to be in a bit of no man's land. He's about 3 seconds behind Danny, and he's about 8 seconds ahead of Nackmeister. So he's just having his own little race at this point. He's still got time to build up though. It's only 3 seconds. It's not too much at this point. He can definitely decide to start pushing and start cutting that down throughout the laps. But the closest thing we have at the moment is Tipsy Bob and that Bance are having a little bit of a go at each other. Is Tipsy Bob going to be able to get ahead of his teammate fairly short? One lap it, so we're getting very, very close to the pit windows for these drivers. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly what they're going to be able to do there. Looks like Tipsy Bob's going to be a little bit too far back to get ahead of his teammate though. Looks like he's going to tuck in. I think they're playing it a little bit safe, the racing points. But they don't want to be losing too much time to Kopi. Like, that Bance has already lost 2 seconds to Kopi since that move that was very risky there. We can see though throughout the front, if you look at the left-hand side of the screen, you can see though SLR Dragon though about 1.1 seconds behind his teammate. Not what he wants at all, because that's going to open up the door for Danny then to get closer and closer to the Red Bull, and then possibly even try to overtake him in the DRS zone or throughout the track elsewhere. Dragon needs to cut down that gap. He needs to get within that DRS. He does pick up a time penalty though for multiple warnings, Dragon, so he's noticed that. He's gotten aggressive. He started pushing. He's cut down that gap as well. It's been fluctuating. But the only problem whenever you start getting really, really aggressive and need to make up as much time as possible is the fact that you then can extend the track just a little bit too much, and then that's where the penalties will come into play. With this though, coming up au revoir out of Saint-Devote though, it looks like Danny is very close to SLR Dragon. Let's hop on with him with the Ferrari driver Danny, our current one of the constructors leaders at this moment. Danny's gonna have to make this response to the Red Bull team if he wants to bring home the bacon, and he's got to get ahead of Justin. Justin's currently winning the drivers championship at this point. He cannot let him out of his sights. We'll stay with Danny for a little bit and see if he's able to get much done here. We'll also have to keep an eye on Kopi as he's in P7 right now, but he's caught up to Higgsy. He had about 2 seconds, I believe, back from Higgsy, but he's managed to cut that down on mediums. You can see the raw pace that this man has, and he's cut that down. He's getting closer, and will he be able to get past him fairly shortly? I think he might be able to. Danny though coming down into Novell right behind SLR Dragon. They're closing that gap. It's constantly fluctuating between the drivers in front. If Dragon can just about get into that DRS of his teammate Justin there, that would really, really help him out. He's just a 10th out though. Is he going to be able to cut it down at the very end? It looks like he's inside it, but he's not going to hold out for it. We'll have to hop on just to see. He does go into the pit zone. Here comes Danny as well. Both of them, SLR Dragon and Danny, both pitting early. That's Dragon going for the first pit, letting Justin get a little bit more of a run going. That's the undercut going, but I believe Dragon saw that coming. He didn't want it to happen, so he went for it himself as well onto the mediums. Danny's going to be onto the mediums as well. Timo though up into P2. He's going to go for the extra lap. So Dragon and Danny first to pit on the grid, followed by then Knackmeister as well went in, and so did Tipsy Bob. That's going to give Justin now the chance to build up a little bit. He'll come in this lap most likely then to set in for the mediums. Hopefully then with that, we'll have to see though. Hop on with SLR Dragon. He's come out behind Kopi. He's got traffic though. He's got people to deal with. So that's where it comes in to be, you know, some problems from here to there is it's coming out on this track after your pit stop in a bit of traffic. Danny though is going to be behind Dragon at this point, which you know, is going to be fine for him there. What Dragon maybe wanted was to sort of leave Danny with someone else to deal with. But, you know, Dragon's going to have to get past Kopi and Higgsy here. Higgsy, it looks like they'll be able to get past fairly shortly. You know, they're keeping very well with him. However, Dragon to try to get past Kopi, that's going to be a tough one. Kopi's not going to want to give that up fairly easily. I mean, Dragon is on the fresher tires than Kopi, but he's definitely going to be fighting back for that. And with Higgsy being there as well, that's just going to be another factor to add in of you know, how they're going to make this work, because Kopi's going to be able to get the DRS on him there. I believe Justin did go into the pits there. He's on the mediums. Let's stay with him just for a second. Where is he going to come out? Is he going to come out ahead of SLR Dragon, or is he going to be behind him? It's a tight margin, but here they go. Going right, looks like he's come out just behind. Is he going to be able to make it in front? It looks like Justin, though, picking up a 5-second penalty for corner cutting, does get ahead of the rest of the pack. Kopi's in P3 all the way up. He's on the counter strike. He's in P3 at this moment. It looks like he's going past Justin as well. And here comes Higgsy as well, and the Mercedes trying to go past as well. But he's just not going to be able to get it done. It looks like Justin has a better line from that. And further back, though, Danny gets past Dragon. Dragon's going to have to fall to the mercy of the Ferrari there. Justin then not getting the exit that he wanted on the turn from out of the pit lane exit. You can see him going very, very wide and extending the pit exit line there. So he's not going to be too happy with that. I believe Timo then will be looking to come into the pits fairly shortly. Looks like Danny though trying for a move on Higgsy down the inside, down into the Novell chicane. Looks like he's already got it done before they hit it. He does. The Mercedes going to have to fall back for that. But here comes SLR Dragon. He's not getting overtaken by one. He's getting overtaken by two drivers as Dragon then takes the inside just on the exit of Novell, moving up into P5. Very good driving from all of these drivers so far. Now, this is the one to watch. Justin, that racer, and Kopi. Kopi's not feeling the best today, but he's really putting in a good performance, especially on that counter strat. Justin, though, the inside line has been left open. He's going to go for it. Down in to Sandoval. He's got the inside line. He's going to be able to get it done. There's a yellow flag out in Sector 2. Not sure what that was, but it looks like they're going side by side all the way up. Beau Rivage, though. Justin on the inside, Kopi on the outside. Justin's going to get that better line in through. A little bit of tapping here and there from both the drivers, but nothing too major at this point. Justin is going to take the lead of this race once again. Red Bull back in the #1 spot, and now it's his time to put on the charge. He needs a 5-second gap from the drivers behind him if he wants to secure this, due to that penalty from exceeding the track limits there on the pit exit. It's not going to be on Kopi. He's currently in P2. He's got 11 lap old mediums. If he can hold up Danny for long enough, that's exactly what Justin's going to want. Justin looks to be already on the charge, and he's going to be trying to build up that gap as quickly as he possibly can. If Kopi can hold Danny for a little bit longer, that'll give Dragon a little chance to maybe try to get his nose in there, but it'll also give Justin the chance to start building out that gap that he needs to build out. Of course, we see Dragon. He's going to want to get on Danny as quickly as possible. It's going to be quite hard, though. Before he had to try to get past Kopi, now he's got to try to get past Danny and Kopi. We know that Kopi will be coming into the pits later on in the race, so at this point, a lot of people would think he's a bit of a roadblock, but he's left the inside open once again. Here goes Danny down the inside. For Sandoval, is Dragon going to be close enough? He's not going to be close enough to try it himself. Danny's going to move up into P2. Up Beau Rivage they go. Is Dragon going to see an opportunity to get through on Kopi on right through here in the first sector? We're just going to have to see. It looks like he's just not close enough to get alongside of him here. He needs a good exit. He needs to get up alongside of him, because what's going to happen here is Danny's going to start to put on a little bit of a charge, and he's going to lose Dragon if Dragon can't get ahead of the Williams driver Kopi fairly shortly. Very tight as they're coming through the Lowe's hairpin there, just not close enough to get his front wheel right alongside of him there. It's going to come down to this exit for the tunnel. Is he going to be able to get a better one than Kopi? He got it pretty good. He is going to be activating the ERS, getting for the inside in the tunnel. SLR Dragon getting past the Williams driver of Kopi down into the Novell chicane on the outside. He's got to move down, plant it, through they go, and now Dragon needs to catch up to Danny in the Ferrari. He's lost about 1.5 seconds to the driver there. But with saying that as well, Danny's lost about 2 seconds to Justin ahead of him. Looks to be that he's going to have to start pushing for that himself. At the end of the day, he has to stay within 5 seconds of this race, and or 5 seconds of Justin, and he would be able to take home the win of this race. Very good driving from all of the drivers really here. They've all done an amazing job. Justin did set the fastest lap, but it was quickly taken away from Danny, and then that was quickly taken away from Timo, as they're all doing very well here. Timo, though, P5, he looks like he's going to try for Kopi. Up Beau Rivage, he's on the outside. Very twisty, very turny. Keep it clean, boys. Looks like he's gotten it done, and he moves up into P4. So this is quite a big fight from the Red Bull and the Ferrari teams at this moment. We've got a Red Bull in P1 and a Ferrari in P2, and a Red Bull in P3 and a Ferrari in P4. This is what it's going to come down to. Who can manage to get the most amount of points here today? I'm sure the Red Bull drivers would love to put themselves a little bit further up, but the only thing with that is the Red Bull drivers have penalties. The Ferrari guys do not at this point. We've still got plenty of a race left to go. We're only on lap 14 out of 39, so anything can happen. But as it stands at the moment, the Red Bull drivers are in a little bit of trouble with those penalties. Kopi then doing a great job. He's holding in P5 at the minute, 13 seconds ahead of Nickmeister at this moment. Pixel then, he's moved up into P10, sorry, on those hards. He's going to be trying to finish out the rest of the race on these. He's about 8 seconds back from that band. He'll want to he'll want to bring that back as quickly as he possibly can. Try to maybe push himself a little bit further for some extra points. I believe there's an AlphaTauri though. Neckmeister, speaking of him, some trouble in Novell, as he's actually going to be DNFing. Let's hop on with Pixel. As you can see down in the exit, or the entrance, you can see him in the far wall there. The AlphaTauri driver is going to be retiring from this race. However, no VSC, no safety car. He's off the track. He's out of the way. We've gone green again, so no safety, nothing like that so far. We're just going to continue racing with that. Zamboni then is going to be able to move up into P10. Every driver on the grid, as long as they finish this race, will finish with a little set of points under their belt. Excuse me, my throat's going to be sore after this one. But looks like though with this, a very good job from Justin so far. He's pulled out a 3.8 second gap on Danny. He's got to extend that a little bit more though if he wants to hold him off there. Dragon though, as we just hop on with him, I've just seen he's cut down that gap to Danny. He's within the DRS on Danny. He looks to be a little bit quicker at this point. And Dragon, if he can get ahead of Danny here, that's going to open up the door for Justin to really extend that gap. Dragon, I believe, has 3 seconds. We'll hop on with that in just a second and have a look at the penalties, see where they all add up, and see what's going on there. But Danny then under fire from the Rebel. He's going to want that to he's going to want to start pushing now, really, to try to hold him behind. And Timo then 1.5 seconds behind Dragon. He needs to pick up the pace just ever so slightly to catch up to that and really sort of put the pressure on Dragon for Danny. That's what he's going to want to do. I mean, at the moment, all the pressure is being put on Danny by Dragon, and Danny, I'm sure he's going to be trying his best to defend from him as best he can, but he really wants to get Timo in there to start applying pressure to the Red Bull driver as well. And with what's going on at the minute as well, Justin looks to be really pushing. He's got that 5-second gap. Is he going to be able to hold it though? He's got to hold it for he's got to be able to hold it for about 23 laps so far if he wants to be able to come home with the win here. So it's going to be kind of reliant on Dragon and Danny fighting here. Looks like though with the back and forth between these two as the pressure's getting applied, Timo then has got in within the DRS of SLR Dragon. Now we've got a battle. This is where I see it. Now we have a battle. We have a Red Bull in the middle of 2 Ferraris at this moment. He's not going to be close enough to get a move into Saint Devote though on Danny once again. Unfortunately, it all comes down to that exit at the last corner of coming out there in Rascath. It's all down to that exit, whether you're going to be able to really try to get past it there. They're both very equal when it comes to ERS, so that doesn't come too much for it. It's all about that exit around this track. Timo then is getting very, very close. And if Timo can manage to start putting that pressure and really maybe try to get alongside Dragon a bit more, Danny will be able to pull away, get out of that, and maybe even cause a little bit of a hiccup for the Red Bull team there. With all this being said, though, it looks like Higgsy, Dat Bance, and Tipsy Bob are all having a good bit of a scrap. Tipsy Bob up in the P6, doing quite well so far. Dat Bance in P8, but he's holding quite closely behind the Mercedes driver of Higgsy, who's then trying to bring the fight to Tipsy Bob. So 6, 7, and 8, quite a close fight at this point. Looks like Pixel did go into the pits though for a fresh set of mediums. I think Pixel might be trying to shoot for the fastest lap throughout this race. I mean, he's got the free pit stop there. I don't believe Zamboni did pit as well, so he's not going to lose out of position there. He's still going to be in P9, and if anything happens ahead of him, he'll be able to pick something up. But it looks like then the majority of this race for him will be spent in P9, pushing in for hard laps at this point. Let's get on board with the front pack again as they're coming up. Beau Rivage is SLR Dragon, still holding on to Danny. He got to get past him. He's got to try to get that move done. You got to get those exits on point. Just that little bit better than Danny, and you got to try to push and really get yourself set up alongside of him there. He wants to get ahead of him as soon as possible. While this is all going on, though, it's perfect for Justin. Look at Justin. He's 7 seconds roughly ahead of the driver behind. That 5-second penalty is nothing to him at this point. While we're talking about this, let's have a quick nosy. Let's see exactly where the penalties have placed these drivers. So we got a 5-second for Justin. He's already clear of that. A 3-second for Dragon. He would currently fall down into P4 at the moment if this is how the race would finish. He's got some work to do with that. We've got a 3-second for Tipsy Bob. It's going to come into some issues, and then Zamboni with 13 seconds in total there for him. So penalties, it's not too bad here. Actually, as we're about to see a little bit of a scrap, it looked like Dragon was trying to get up alongside of him there. Very close to Danny. It just wasn't there for him at that time, though. Is he going to be able to get the exit that he wants? He's using the ERS that he's got at the moment. Danny's going to be using it as well. Dragon's going to try to get close to the outside. He's not close enough. A little bit squeeze, tapping the wall. And there goes Danny. He's off the track. And Timo moves up into P2. Takes advantage of the whole situation of those two drivers scrapping it out. And he just takes advantage. Heads into the inside. If you do want to fight like that, well, I'm happy with that. I'll take the place and I'll move on. So coming into turn 1 there, looked like Dragon really wanted the move. He's going to be letting Danny go past there because, that's very good sportsmanship there. He's letting Danny go past. Dragon wasn't close enough to be up alongside Danny there. Danny went to move back onto his line there. Dragon was still behind the driver, so everything was done the way it should be there. But he just was a little bit late. There was that tap that led them both off of the track. They're only going to lose 1 position each. However, they've lost a little bit of time to Kopi. He'll be able to pick that up a little bit himself. The good thing about this, with Dragon and Danny fighting so much, because Timo was able to cut down that gap, as soon as that came to pass, Timo was able to pick that up. Timo was able to come through, see the issues that were happening ahead between Danny and Dragon, and say, okay, This is happening, but I'm here. I got this. Let's take this. I'll move forward. And with that, he's going to be able to pull out a total of about 5 seconds to the drivers behind. So Timo then put into a very good position on lap 20 out of 39. We got 19 more laps left to go of this race, and Timo then jumping 2 positions. He's going to be very happy with that one. Justin though, 9 seconds, almost 10 seconds from Timo behind him there. He's going to be coming up to lap Pixel fairly shortly. Yeah, we did see Pixel come in a couple laps ago to set himself on a fresh set of mediums. I think he's going to be trying to push. We'll check in a moment to see exactly who would be holding the fastest lap if we're able to do that in just a moment. But with that then, it's going to be still though SLR Dragon and Danny. I mean, realistically, it's a very, very hard track when it comes to really trying to overtake with someone. It's very risky. Every time you try to overtake a driver on this track, it's a 2-lane road, you know? It's between both the drivers. The driver that's trying to make the overtake, making sure he's got it lined up properly. He's going to be able to make the corner that they're heading into. But then also on the driver who's then being attacked to leave that space. You know, it's a 2-lane road. And, you know, with what happened between the 2 drivers, they've come out of it. They're back to racing. Dragon did the right thing. He moved aside. Danny, take that place back. That was my incident. You know, which was very, very good to see. That sportsmanship right there at its finest. So very, very good from them. I'm really, really happy to see that that's surrounding. It doesn't look like they're going to be pitting. So by the looks of that, it looks like there was no wing damage as a sense to some of these drivers. Dragon's getting close every time, but he's just not quite close enough to Danny here. They're going to head up Beaurivars. He's getting a little bit wobbly out there. But he's not going to be close enough to get ahead of him there. Hopefully, we'll see them continue this fight throughout the race. They're doing a tremendous job of it. You know, keeping it as clean as they possibly can when you add in all the circumstances of the circuit. So very, very good from both of them. And it looks like further back though, looks like Tipsy Bob has fallen a little bit back from Higgsy, and that Bance then is currently on the rear end of Tipsy Bob. Let's hop down for just a second and have a quick nose at what they're doing. They're heading up Beaurivars at this moment. There might not be much fighting between these 2 drivers as they are teammates. Let's hop back down just in case. I don't want to see Danny and Dragon. I don't want to miss seeing Danny and Dragon fight, because these are the guys that are putting on a show right now. They're really showing us what it's all about here today. Sorry about that. You can really see though with the exit onto that start-finish straight, it really poses, you know, that's where you get the advantage. I mean, Danny's doing a very good job. He's been very, very consistent with his cornering where he makes his exits. A little bit of a mistake from Dragon though, as he taps the inside wall. Is he gonna get damage from that? We gotta see fairly short. There could be an end plate missing from that Red Bull. Doesn't look to be any visible damage at this moment. Very, very lucky for him there, but a tap from one wall on the left led him to go a little wide and tap the wall on the outside. Didn't lose time from him though, or too much time, so that's very thankful for that. The last thing I would have wanted to see was Dragon, you know, have that little tap and that lead to a you know, possible terminal damage there. As we know, the walls of Monaco, of the Marina Bay circuit, are not forgivable one bit. So then with all this going, I believe Timo started to pick up the pace. He's cutting down the gap ever so slightly. He's got 9.5 seconds to cut on Justin, the racer in front of him. Justin's got 5 seconds of penalties. He's held it off so far. We're on lap 23 out of 39. He just needs to keep it as straight as he's been keeping it, and he'll be able to take home quite a comfortable win by the looks of things, being that far behind. It looks like also though there's about almost 10 seconds between Danny and Dragon then. So like we said, the biggest fight at the moment is Dragon and Danny for that final step on the podium. The only problem is that Dragon has the penalty. The penalty's really putting it into a bit of a damper, because if Dragon gets ahead of Danny, he needs 3 seconds at least to be able to take that to take that position from Danny. We all know Danny's not going to want to let that go very easily. It looks like though, if I seen correctly, does Danny have a little bit of end plate wing damage? He does. He's missing his right end plate. So if Dragon can take advantage of that, he could you know, he could definitely put himself in a good position here. But he's just not going to be close enough to Danny to be able to make it. Looks like he's almost per lap here. Looks like he's almost starting to drop back a little bit from Danny. It looks like Danny did a lot of saving there, and he's gonna be falling back a little bit. He's gonna be Danny's gonna be starting to push maybe a little bit more to try to sort of get out of that clear zone. I mean, he's got the damage right now, so he needs to try to get himself into a bit more of a secure position. Obviously, though, Dragon, he's cutting it down. Looks like in the 3rd second, Dragon does go into the pits, though. So there might have been some form of notable wing damage for him. I don't see any visually at this point. He is getting a wing change, though. And he's hopping onto a fresh set of mediums. Kopi, though, then moving up into P4. And Dragon, is he going to come out behind Higgsy? He doesn't look like it. He's going to be exiting the pits just before Higgsy is going to be able to get close enough. But there is the chance then he's going to come out alongside Higgsy. I might be wrong in saying so, as Higgsy is going to be getting out ahead of Dragon. And Dragon's going to fall all the way down because here comes the Racing Points. And is he going to be able to get ahead on the exit here? Looks like Tipsy Bob's taking ahead of it. Tipsy Bob up into P6. Dragon now in between both of the Racing Points. This is where it's going to get exciting because now he has to get past Tixie Bob, try to build up that about 3-second gap from Higgsy and try to get ahead of him if he wants to bring the charge. You can see he's very, very close there. He's going to be trying to get that fastest lap for the Red Bull team today, and if he can just get ahead of Tipsy Bob sooner rather than later, he can start charging towards Higgsy as the tires are getting older. They're getting slower, of course. We can see Kopi, though, 23 lap old mediums. He's got to come into the pit soon. So ideally at this point, you know, he'd be a lap ahead. Here comes Dragon, though, on the outside, getting close to Tipsy Bob. Backed off a little bit, though, there, trying to play it as safe as he possibly can. You can see it, quite a smart move from him there. I think he's going to wait then until they come out of Rascas into the on the start finish, get the DRS on Tipsy, and try for it then. Danny, though, with this, he's got 12 seconds to catch on his teammate. He is in a podium position right now. So far, it's Justin followed by Timo and Danny. That is looking like your podium so far. Thinking, obviously, if nothing changes at this point. Looks like, though, Dragon's going to be trying for it. He's pushed himself to the inside. He's got the move on all the way down the straight before we get into Saint-Devote. He's headed through. He's up in a P6 then. Good run from Dragon at this point. But it looks like then with this, look at how spaced out this grid is. We have Justin in P1 with a 10-second gap to Timo. Danny then 12 seconds behind him, followed by Kopi, who's 7 seconds behind him. Kopi's going to have to come into the pits fairly shortly, but he'll be able to get on softs, and he'll be able to push for that fastest lap. Most likely as being on the faster tire. Higgsy then 12 seconds behind him, followed by Dragon, who's 2 seconds. He's got to cut down that gap and try to move himself further up the field. Tipsy Bob then 1.3 behind him, followed by his teammate that Bans 2.5 behind him. Then we've got Pixel 21 seconds roughly behind that Bans, and Zamboni about 36 behind him then as well. So with this, it looks like Dragon is cutting down that gap fairly swiftly, being on the faster tire. Of course, he has set a purple sector 2 as well. So this could be looking like Dragon setting a fastest lap for now. Kopi's going to be staying out, though, still. What Kopi's going to be looking to do here, I believe, he'll be trying to pit around lap 28, roughly at this point. Dragon does take the fastest lap. He's almost in the DRS range of Higgsy. It looks like he's going to be within it, definitely, for the end of this lap. And he could be trying to take Higgsy like he took Tipsy into Saint-Devote. So great driving so far, but overall, when you look at this race, when you look at this track, and you look at the drivers on it, the fact that there's been no major incidents, there's been some really exciting, really clean racing going on here. None of the drivers are holding off, really. They really want to get as many positions as they can. They're trying to fight it out while trying to be as safe as possible. And we haven't had any full yellows. We haven't had a VSC. We haven't had a full course at all. Let's see, though, is Dragon going to be close enough to get past Higgsy? He's not at this point. He's going to have to see it for a little bit later. You can see, though, he's definitely that bit quicker at the moment. But to see that none of that has been brought out, you know, we have one DNF from the session. I believe Knackmeister was a reserve for this race, so maybe wasn't as prepared as some of the other drivers, which is quite unfortunate. But excuse me, coming in as a reserve, you know, it's great to see him there and really give it a shot. Unfortunately, he did DNF, but one DNF and none others. We see Dragon, though, he's going to go for it once again on the inside down into Saint-Devote. They're going to be side by side here. He gets the run through. That's SLR Dragon up into P5. Now it's got to bring the charge to Kopi. He's technically will be considered P4 at this point. As soon as Kopi pits, he'll be able to move up that position. But he is going to be very far behind Danny. I think at this point, Dragon is fighting to hold on to P4. But, you know, as I was saying, it's very good from all the drivers that that they're able to bring out this kind of performance, but also the level of sportsmanship that they show as well, and cleanliness, as you know, they're all trying. The last thing I'm sure any of these drivers want is to be in an accident caused by them or someone else that leads in terminal damage and any kind of DNF from a race. I believe that is a wing, though. bit of a wing flying, or just some debris floating around there. It really looked like something. I could be completely wrong there. I think my eyes might be deceiving me again. But, you know, very good from all these drivers. It's great to see. Hopefully this will continue throughout the season. The next race, I believe, as well, will be Baku. So we're going from the streets of Monte Carlo to Azerbaijan, another street circuit. So it's going to be great to see all these drivers. You know, as we're getting through, I would say at this point, as Kopi does go into the pits though, lap 28 goes in for the soft. Is Tipsy Bob going to be able to get ahead? Looks like he is. Is that Pants? Looks like he is. Looks like Kopi's going to drop all the way down into P8 and start charging for his for the comeback there. He's on the faster tires. He'll be able to get up fairly shortly to the drivers ahead. But you know, Baku's going to be very interesting. Hopefully then, you know, we didn't have the best turnout today for the Tier 1 2 SRL Monaco Grand Prix. However, I think we'll see that increase again, and we'll be back to our full grids again in the next race, of course, in Baku, the Azerbaijan circuit. I'm quite excited for it. One of my favorite tracks, honestly. Definitely one of my favorite, I guess you would say my favorite street circuits when it comes to the really tight ones. I think for a lot of people, I've talked to a lot of people throughout the week about their track choices, what they enjoy, where they enjoy to race, and we're getting to that stage in the calendar where more of the favorable tracks are starting to show up. I mean, soon we're going to see Silverstone, soon we're going to see Austria. You know, those are two very good tracks that a lot of people enjoy. I could be getting very close to the wall there, but you know, there's those tracks coming up. We'll have Hungary coming at some point, then obviously more towards the end of the season, Brazil. So all those sort of tracks will be coming up very shortly. And from what I've talked to people about, it does seem to be that you know, their more favorite side of the calendar is starting to come up. We did have a yellow flag in 2 and 3 there. I'm not sure what that was. We do see Kopi though, who has cut down the gap to the racing point of that. Banson's going to look to get past him very shortly. So being on the faster tire, looks like that Banson's looking like he's opening up the window a little bit there. Had a little bit of trouble, but not enough room there for Kopi to really squeeze down into there. At this point, it's a little bit of a hold up, a little bit of a love tap from Kopi onto that Bans. He's just got more traction when it comes to the exits. Another little tap there. And he's definitely gonna be trying. He's got plenty of VRS. He's moving to the inside here. We're going side by side through the tunnel. Keep it clean. Kopi's got him moved on, and he's up into P7, down into the Nouvelle chicane. With all this being said, when we look at Dragon, he's still 11 seconds behind Danny at this point. I mean, Higgsy's about almost 6 seconds behind him. Dragon's got that 3-second penalty. He looks to be quite clear for that. This is his job now. He's got to hold on to P4. Not too far behind him though is Kopi. He's got 9 laps. However, can Kopi cut down that much of a gap in 9 laps? Sorry. If he can, it would bring quite a fight. If he can get within 3 seconds of Dragon, so if he can cut down this gap to Tipsy, which he already more or less has, he'll be able to get through him fairly shortly. Then he's got to cut down about a 5-second gap there to Higgsy, and then, you know, he's got some work to do. But it's not impossible. It's not impossible for Kopi to come out of here and maybe even take P4 away from Dragon. We'll just have to stick with him and see how he's going to be able to put that in, what he's going to be able to do with that. As we see, you know, there's not a lot of, once we get to the later stages of this race, you know, when the incidents have happened, the gaps really are out there. You can actually see Tipsy Bob almost moving aside there for Kopi. He knows that Kopi's behind him. He's on the faster tires. Tipsy Bob's on 20 lap old mediums. He'll be a lot slower, and if anything, it would be dangerous to fight him. So he's given up that position. He's happy enough, and Kopi then will move forward to onwards towards Higgsy at this point. I'm running out of water, but gladly, we only have 8 more laps to go. And then I'll be able to give my throat a little bit of a rest. So, but as I was saying, yeah, the gaps are really starting to form out. The Racing Point team are being very solid at the moment. You know, P7 and 8, that's a good chunk of points for them. Justin's had a phenomenal drive to really sort of extend his lead at the top of the Drivers' Championship. Timo and Danny, though, again, scoring really good points so far with how it stands. Really good points for the Ferrari team. They're currently leading constructors, and they'd be able to obviously they'd be able to rack in some good ones with that. Danny, though, picked up a 3-second time penalty. Sadly, though, it's not going to be enough for Dragon to be able to close a gap and possibly take that away from him due to him having a penalty as well. So, you know, Dragon's cutting down the gap. He's on the fresher tires. It looks like he is cutting it down quite well. However, he would need to get ahead of Danny. I mean, if he can get up to Danny and get ahead of him with the remaining laps, then, you know, he'd be able to take that position. However, that's 6.5 seconds. We've got, we've got 7 laps left to go of this race. In 7 laps, can he lap a second quicker per lap? More or less at this point. That's what he really needs to do. About a second per lap is what Dragon needs to hit here. And, you know, with that being on those fresh tires, it's definitely possible. He looks to be putting on the charge at the moment. I think that seeing that penalty pop up for Danny put a little bit of a spark of hope in Dragon's eyes. So, if he's able to cut that down, he'll be happy enough. Maybe try to get a move on him. But that means now, Danny and Dragon, I'm going to check it to clarify so that I'm not talking anything that's wrong. Yeah, it's clarified. Both of them have 3 seconds. Now it's who finishes first on track out of those 2 drivers. If Dragon can cut down that gap, he's under 5 seconds already. I think I think he is lapping about a second quicker per lap at this moment, which is really good. And it does show the difference between new tires and old tires, how much quicker you can be and how much more you can push them. At this point, Dragon, what he can do, they're only 8 laps old. He can really, he doesn't have to worry about tire managing at this point. He can really push them to the absolute max to cut down the gap. He's cutting it down quite well at the moment. Danny, though, he's coming through. I want to check just to see if Danny is in that. Danny still has that left end plate missing from his wing, so he is dealing with damage alongside of the penalty. This is Dragon's shot. I mean, Kopi's closing in on Higgsy. It's got to the point now where Kopi's not going to be able to close down the gap to Dragon. However, Kopi's going to be able to close it down on Higgsy, get a solid P5. The battle for the last remaining slot on the podium is still in action. That's still going, because we can see Dragon has got Danny in his sights again. After what has happened, he's managed to bring himself all the way back up. He's got Danny in his sights. He's just about 2 seconds behind him. Did you see the past 2 laps? He was about 6 seconds behind him. He's now under 2 seconds behind Danny. So you can see Dragon's really putting on the charge. And, you know, it's going to be who can finish on track ahead of one another due to Danny picking up that penalty. And like I said, I think that was Dragon's spark of hope, was Danny picking up that penalty. All he has to do now, he doesn't have to get ahead and pull out a major gap. He just needs to get ahead of Danny. He's going to be within the DRS for the next lap there. When we look at the ERS, they're both pretty much the same. They're in the same boat with that. So it comes down to their overall just race pace performance on track. Dragon does have the advantage though with having the fresher tires, and quite a ways fresher as well. So he's going to be able, you can see he's just getting closer and closer every corner to Danny, and this is what it's going to come down to. Can Dragon get past Danny without there being any incidents? Further down though, it looks like that bounce though is getting ahead of Tipsy Bob, moving up into P7. Great move from him there. Unfortunately did not get to catch that. Sector 1 and 2 yellow flag. That'll be with the 2 Mercedes and the Williams. Driver, I believe Zamboni was being lapped there. But you know, this is the fight to watch now. I mean, we were watching Kopi for a moment there. Kopi is very close to Higgsy at this moment. He's going to be coming through the tunnel. Looks like Dragon's going to stay here with Danny. We'll try to keep an eye on this as best as we can. Last thing I want to do is miss this. Kopi's not going to be close enough to get ahead of Higgsy down into Nouvelle Chicane, though. You can see Dragon just has to hold off in areas. At this point, Danny is really a bit of a roadblock. You can see the difference in these 2 drivers at this later part of the stage. Dragon is going to be able to get DRS. Is he going to be able to try into Sandoval? He's looking at the outside again. He's not going to be close enough. He's not going to make the same mistake twice. We saw what happened before. He's not going to let that happen. Is he going to be able to get it up? Beau Rivage here. You can see the swerving back and forth, looking for that opening, but it just isn't there at this moment. Is he going to be able to get it fairly shortly? He could do. Looks like though Kopi gets ahead of Higgsy into Sandoval. Kopi's up in P5, and now he keeps to he can continue on that charge. Up forward. He's got 12 seconds to cut down the stick back to SLR Dragon and Danny. This is the most exciting thing we've got going on at the moment. This is the battle for the podium. As long as none of these drivers pick up an extra penalty, it's all about who finishes ahead on track. Like lap 35 out of 39 in the Monaco Grand Prix. It's been a phenomenal race so far, and I've been very privileged to be the caster here today. Dragon just very, very close to the Ferrari in front, just making sure he gets his braking points right. Lost a little bit of time to him though there, down into Nouvelle. He should be able to hold that back up though, down to just the nature of the tires. Everything that's happening right now, I think, honestly, is coming down to the fact that the Dragon is on his tires are just so much faster. And all he needs is a good exit here. He's very close to the back end of that Ferrari. But they're both, I believe, using as much ERS as possible. He's going to try for it again. He's just not close enough again. Trying for that outside line. Heading up Beau Rivage now. Danny is not making it easy for SLR Dragon. SLR Dragon needs to get ahead of him if he wants to get onto that podium and put the Red Bulls up there that little bit further. But Danny really does not want to give that up. And everything that they're doing right now as well is completely legal, is what they're doing. You know, they're fighting to the best they can. Danny is putting in a great show of defending here. This could be it. Is he going to try for the tunnel here? Doesn't look. It looks like Danny got a little bit of a better exit there though, coming out of the tunnel. And I think Dragon noticed that as well, so didn't commit to using any of his ERS there. Had it on for about a split second. Realized the exit wasn't there for him. Doesn't need to waste any of his resources. Looks like they're still just staying as equal as possible when it comes to the ERS. It really, I've said this so many times, I feel like a broken record. It really comes down to Dragon just getting a better exit from the last corner here than Danny. That's all it comes down to, is that exit. And if he can get it better than Danny, he can get that position. Pixel picking up a 5-second time penalty, sorry, for crossing the pit lane exit white line, I believe that was. Once again though, Dragon just not close enough in the Saint-Devat. It's tight between these two, and I want to see them. It's great to see, really. I want to see them fighting this out to the very, very end. And you know, you see that Dragon is on the. You know, he's got everything in his favor at the moment with the tires. Danny at this point is just defending as best he can. He's locking up a lot more. The tires are worn. Unfortunately, we don't get to see the exact wear telemetry of the drivers at the moment. Hopefully we can see something like that in the future. But Dragon though, not a bad exit and coming into the tunnel here, but it's still just not going to be close enough to Danny to be able to make any form of a move on him there. He looks to be holding on quite well to the rear end, but Danny he's really doing some good work with those tires. I mean, they're a lot older, but he's really managing to hold on to it and just keep those grip levels exactly where he wants it. You see Dragon there getting a little bit of a wobble. Coming in through a little bit of a love tap there from Dragon to Danny. This could be it though. Look at that exit from Dragon. He's close to Danny. He could be trying for it now. On the outside, his wheel is there. Is he going to hold off? Just a bite. At that point, just wasn't close enough to try any form of a move. If he tried to be a late breaker there, he would have been way too close to the wall. So he had to hold off once again. It's a great showing from all of these drivers, really. I believe as well this is giving Kopi the chance to charge up. The more they fight, Kopi's about 4 seconds out. Kopi, if he can get within 3 seconds of Dragon, he'll jump him. If he can get even closer, Kopi can get on a podium. While I've been watching all this and really keeping up with Dragon and trying to see him make those kind of moves, we're on the I believe we're just coming into lap 39 out of 39. I believe SLR Dragon and Danny are still would be technically considered on lap 38 at this moment, of course. But we're coming into the last, the ending stage of this race. This is going to be it. This is the time for Dragon to make that move. Pixel does set the fastest lap though with a 1:10.619. Great lap from him on the softs, so he's going to be able to pick up that extra point here. Dragon, you got to get past him because Kopi's within 3 seconds. He can jump you. And I believe he's also then, if he can stay close, he could be within the position to jump both of them. So at this point, it's about them fighting and getting that position, yeah, but it's also about making sure they don't lose that ending part to Kopi, because he can come through and jump both of them. Kopi really is on the charge there, and I think Kopi realizes this as well. He's 2.8 behind Dragon. What he needs to be really is about 2.4 behind them, roughly about 2.4, which he can definitely make possible coming down through here. They're getting very, very close to each other. Dragon and Danny are still scrapping. Looks like Dragon was trying to get a bit of a move there. Justin, though, crosses the line, wins the Monaco Grand Prix, but did pick up a 5-second at the very end there. Wasn't enough, though, for Timo to get ahead of him there, though. Justin's going to be your winner of the Monaco Grand Prix, but we're not going to get to that just yet because the scrap is still going on between these drivers. Looks like Kopi, though, is possibly close enough. Pixel picking up a penalty as well for an unserved. But Dragon and Danny doesn't look like Dragon's going to be able to get close enough before the checkered flag to get ahead of him. But this is where what it comes down to. Kopi's close enough, starting 11th on the grid. Danny crosses it, then Dragon, and Kopi jumps both of them onto the podium. He goes P11 on the grid. Not in the best of form today, but he does bring it through. Gets a podium on the counter strat. Great drive from him to be able to use at the end there once those penalties were picked up to really start charging forward. Looks like it's going to be Tipsy Bob then, and that band solid P7 and 8 from both those drivers. I believe that Bounce is going to be able to jump his teammate to get P7. Pixel then going to have to settle for P9, and Zamboni, who I believe is a reserve, finishing P10. Very, very good result from all the drivers there. Quite an exciting battle at the very end as well between Danny, SLR Dragon, and then Kopi just coming out of nowhere. Driver day comes up as Kopi. I have no arguments there. I think Kopi had a phenomenal drive. Did very well on his first stint with his mediums, and then his soft stint was just unbelievable. While all the drivers were starting to lose their tire wear, of course, he was on the soft. He had a lot more pace there. He charged all the way through the field. Really, the amount of fighting he did throughout that race was unbelievable, and manages to get himself up onto the podium. So very, very good result from him. I'm very, very happy to see it. I couldn't have asked for a better race today, to be perfectly honest. So this is going to be your finishing grid for the 2 SRL Tier 1 Monaco Grand Prix. It's going to be Justin, that racer, for the Red Bull Racing team, coming across the line, taking away the top step of the podium. Followed by Timo for the Ferrari team. Great result from him, taking advantage of the situations that were handed to him, getting P2 for the Ferrari team. Followed by Kopi then, amazing driver of the day on the counter strat, and not in the best of form. Comes in, gets a podium here at Monaco, followed by Danny for Ferrari, and then SLR Dragon for Red Bull. I'm sure those two will be kicking themselves a little bit for that one. Higgsy then P6 for the Mercedes team, followed by the 2 Racing Points, Tipsy Bob and that band, 7 and 8. Great performance from them. Pixel then holding up P9 with the fastest lap, being a 1:10.6, and I believe Kopi's was a 1:11.2, so quite a fast lap for Pixel as well there. And then followed by Zamboni and Nackmeister at the closing stage there. Great race from all of the drivers, and I think I'll maybe see if we can get a little bit of a chat from some of the drivers as well. I'm gonna put a little message just in the Tier 1 discussions thing, just to see what we can get going. So let me see. I should have this all set up correctly. We are coming to the right scene change there. We're gonna hold off just a little moment to give all these drivers a little chance to catch a break, to really just refresh themselves and get ready for me grilling them completely about their race. But I don't know about everyone sitting at home watching at the moment, but I think it was utterly amazing. Quite a great race from all of the drivers. I'd love to see Justin hopping in here and having a little bit of a chat with me. Looks like he is going to be prepping to get into the voice channel there. We'll give them just another little second just to get themselves ready for that. So we'll with that then, we'll see if we can get Justin and Timo. We'll start off with Justin, of course, the winner of the TSRL Tier 1 Monaco Grand Prix. Justin, that racer, the Red Bull Racing driver. Justin, how are you?
I'm great. What about you?
I'm phenomenal. That was an exciting race. From start to finish, really. The Red Bulls really showed up today in qualifying, and then during the race, you know, once you got past Dragon, you really started to charge on there. You had that 5-second penalty that you just had to build up, and you know, it was really just I think for you had probably one of the calmest races, but also one with quite a lot of pressure as well. How did it go for you throughout the session?
Well, I was happy with qualifying, but maybe not with the order. I maybe would have liked, you know, being first and then Dragon maybe pushing Danny down, because in Tier 2, not even an hour ago, we did a practice race and I was faster than him in race pace. I was hoping he wouldn't hold me up. Luckily, though, he did move aside and let me run away with it. But then the penalty, as you said, it was stressful as well, as much as relaxing. But I was quite relaxed because I was confident that that 5-second time penalty would be removed. Because when I was coming out the pits, I passed the white line or the yellow line, whatever it is, on the exit. And then it gave me a 5-second time penalty because it thought I was cutting the corner. And then I had 2 illegal overtakes on Copy and Higgsy. So I had to pull aside, let them by, and then which was very dangerous. And yeah, so and then after that was really just a cruise until the finish, I guess.
Definitely. So a little bit of unwanted time loss there, and some issues. Yeah, I was watching that when you exited the pit. You were already you were past Sandoval at this point. Really at the exit of that, and that cross. Yeah, I can definitely say it counted as that. So hopefully that can possibly be removed. But even if it wasn't, thankfully you did manage to really hold that gap and bring it through. Overall, a great race from you, extending your lead at the top of the championship. So really bringing it out for Red Bull. But next track then, next week we have Baku. How are you feeling for Azerbaijan?
Last season it went well. I think I got P2 last season, so it wasn't too bad. But this is obviously tier 1 now, faster drivers, faster everything, and more people like Monaco or Baku, so higher attendance, probably quick boys will join. So I guess we can only find out and see.
Definitely. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what you can bring to Baku. Congratulations once again for such a good drive and really putting the foot down when you really needed to. And I'm really looking forward to what we can see from you in Baku.
Thanks.
Definitely. Thank you. Next then. So with that, I believe we get to have a little chat with one of the other drivers before we call it a day for this session. It's going to be Timo then, the Ferrari driver, getting onto the second step of the podium and really bringing it through for Ferrari in the end there. So we'll bring Timo in here and we'll see if he's able to have a little bit of a chat with us. Timo, how are you?
I am exhausted primarily.
I can imagine quite an exciting race. Very stressful. I can imagine in the qualifying with having an early retirement due to an unfortunate turn of events in the Nouvelle Chicane. But
you saw that.
I did not see it. However, I knew exactly what happened due to watching your previous lap before. So I knew exactly what happened there. But very, very fortunate to then. Obviously, not too many people were able to get faster than you. You'd already set a very good lap, so that played in your benefit. But throughout the race, a lot going on there. And then the incident between Danny and Dragon in front of you. I don't think you could have done that better, really. I mean, you cut down the gap to them to really start to bring the fight to Dragon, to put that pressure in. And with that happening, it was just really taking advantage of a bad situation. And I think you did that amazingly to then charge forward and take second. But how did it go for you sitting in the, as we say, the driver's seat throughout that race?
Well, I mean, qualifying was certainly unlucky. I've been quite a bit faster in practice as every week. I'm gonna say that every week because it's true every week. And in the race on Friday in SLR, I've choked quite a lot there. I've also set like 2.8s, and that I couldn't go faster. And now I did it as banker, which was solid. And then I thought, okay, I've got something I can fall back on. Now I can push as hard as I can. And then I pushed more than I could, and it ended in the wall. So lucky that it was still P4. And then in the race, I was driving really poorly for the first 10 laps or something, and everyone got to check out. But then I actually don't quite remember what happened. Right, the strategy happened, and Danny got ahead of Dragon, and then Danny picked up damage, and Justin checked out. So that was basically the win sealed. But I thought, okay, I'm not aiming for P4 anymore. I told myself before, just bring it home, aim for P4. But then I knew, okay, Danny's gonna hold Dragon up, obviously, and if Dragon gets past Danny, he's gonna let me pass. So it's a good situation for me, anyways. So I pushed as hard as I could to get on their back. And then when the incident happened, I couldn't really, I thought just Danny broke late, so I tried to be really on the inside to avoid Dragon as best as I could, and suddenly I slipped into second. But then I think Dragon even waited for Danny, so dampened my triumph in that situation a little.
Definitely.
But,
so what happened in that situation was actually Dragon had been trying to get past Danny. I'd really tried to sort of look for that move on the outside coming into Zandvoort. Was still behind Danny. Was really trying to get a squeeze in there. Danny moved back onto his preferred line in his full rights, of course. And Dragon was just a little bit later on the brakes, and then there was that little bit of contact which forced them both out further with that. So that's sort of what happened there. But yeah, great job taking advantage of an unwanted situation, of course. But you took advantage of it very well, and came through in P2 there.
Yeah, in the end, I mean, it was just Justin. What Justin said was a little disheartening to me, saying that he was managing because I was pushing so hard. I thought, I mean, Justin can always bottle. He's got 5 seconds of penalties, which I didn't know how they came to be. So I thought, okay, if I get myself within 8 seconds and he picks up another penalty, I'm suddenly in for a win. If he picks up damage, I'm in for a win. So I was pushing as hard as I could, and I was really happy with the last half of the race because I finally, like, I developed the confidence I didn't have in the first half. And if I can drive like that in the rest of the season again, then feeling a bit more confident because the last races have been bottle jobs. So this was good.
Definitely. So with that then, just to let you in on it, Justin was feeling very stressed. I'll just let you know that. He was very stressed with the penalties and then the you charging behind him and stuff. So, you know, he may have said he was managing, but I think he was also pushing too. But as we come then, next week then, Azerbaijan, Baku, how do you feel for that track there?
Well, it's sort of the gatekeeper of the Holy Trinity for me, because Baku is a track that I sort of like it gets better there. I absolutely despise Monaco, and then Baku gets better. I think I'm good there. It was one of the first tracks where I was able to show good pace last season, and then I'm sort of already, my eyes are already on the 3 tracks behind them because they are my 3 favorites in a row. So I just want to get past Baku, pick up some solid points, and then focus my attention on France, Austria, and Canada, honestly.
Definitely. So with that then, once again, great job for the race today. You really pulled it through when was needed for the for your team today, and you know, holding at the top of the constructors. I believe you'll still be staying there with that. So very good performance from you there, and I really am looking forward to seeing what we can do with this in the next few races coming up. So thank you once again, and congratulations. I'll talk to you very, very soon.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. So with that though, that is going to bring the 2SRL Tier 1 Monaco Grand Prix to a close. Absolutely phenomenal race from all of the drivers. Kopi then from being ill, not in the best of form, not qualifying, starting in P11 on the counter strat, bringing it through, getting a podium. Justin, great drive from him, managing what he could do really with the penalty that he was given, managing to keep that gap there, and really come through and win the race. Danny and Dragon, you guys put on an amazing show today. Absolutely phenomenal. I hope they can continue to do this. But overall, a great performance from everyone. If you did enjoy watching this broadcast, make sure you do subscribe to the EGL YouTube channel. We are live most days, actually, with a lot of racing. We've with the 2SRL, the SLR, there's F1 racing, ACC, all of that. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. And it's been an absolute pleasure being your commentator for tonight. Thank you all once again. And I will see you all very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye for now.